Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Salacious surprises, shocking shots, and a scary situation. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Thursday, January 2nd include scandalous shocks, surprising images, and terrifying scenarios. Drew Quartermain receives a scandalous surprise, there are surprising shots in Prague, and Sonny Corinthos is in a dangerous predicament. General Hospital spoilers, Wednesday's encore episode, mark your calendars, GH is returning with an encore episode on New Year's Day, paving the way for an explosive new episode on Thursday, January 2nd. On Wednesday, fans may expect a nostalgic return to September 23, 2024. Don't miss the exciting new episode, which will premiere on Friday, January 3rd. The Wednesday encore will feature a tense interaction between Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan, while Portia Robinson is on edge. Terry Randolph will remain steadfast in her decisions as Elizabeth Baldwin raises her concerns. In the meantime, Curtis Ashford will provide direction to TJ Ashford. GH spoilers, Favors for Favors. Michael Corinthos is conversing with Sasha Corbin. He indicates his willingness to accept her proposal, but insists that she first satisfy one of his requests. Michael is taken aback when Sasha unexpectedly announces that she is having a baby, and he knows that the child must be his. This discovery may cause some changes to their plans, especially if she communicates the news of her pregnancy before or after he agrees to her proposal. Finally, she reveals her pregnancy just as he asks for her help. Drew finds Willow Corinthos at her office in General Hospital, and she brightens at him, looking enthusiastic of his idea, as he asks, "Hey, want to come to DC?" The true question is whether he's inviting her for a weekend break, a single night, or recommending they relocate with their 3 children. Willow and Michael have just recently ended their relationship, but Nina Reeves is already taking action, filing separation and custody documents on Willow's behalf. Drew appears to be eager to begin a fresh chapter with Willow, but the divorce procedure will take time. An annulment is not an option because they have a biological kid. Instead, they will need to divorce and be separated for at least a year. GH spoilers, an urgent need. Drew isn't the only one with an urgent need. Ava Jerome is also upping her game, this time with Alexis Davis. Previously, Alexis had shut her office door in Ava's face, claiming that based on what she had heard, Ava could not afford her services. Ava is now anxiously imploring, "Could you please return it to me?" It's evident she's talking to Nicholas Cassidy's money. But there's a catch, it's not Alexis's to hand away, and it's still unclear who determined Ace Prince Cassidy would be the lone heir to the Cassidy riches. General Hospital spoilers, Valentin Cassidy will do anything for his daughter. Valentin Cassidy threatens Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer that they are mistaken if they think he will not make a scene for his daughter. The 3 is in a Prague cafe when Lulu discovers Charlotte Cassidy has asked her father for permission to meet. Just then, Dante comes and begins speaking with Charlotte, prompting Valentin to panic, assuming that it is a trap and that Dante is planning to arrest him. He warns them that someone could have followed Lulu to Prague to find him. Unfortunately, it turned out he was correct. GH spoilers, shocking shots. While the group talks, a sniper has his sights set on Valentin's heart. Dante stands squarely in front of him, with Lulu by his side, while Charlotte is most likely still seated at the opposite table. Valentin has just informed Lulu of the horrific news that Anna accidentally shot Charlotte and that Charlotte is suffering from PTSD, which includes haunting nightmares. Suddenly, the calm of their conversation is disturbed when a gunshot comes through the cafe window. Will Valentin make it out alive, or will Charlotte have to witness her father's murder? She has only recently began to reconcile with her mother. General Hospital spoilers, scary situations. Sonny was boxing at Volanino's gym in Port Charles when he collapsed unexpectedly, holding his chest in distress. He had felt some discomfort after speaking with Christina Corinthos Davis on Christmas Day, but it had passed. Now he is alone on the gym floor, potentially facing a serious heart attack, and it's a terrifying situation. Will anyone find Sonny in time to save him? Lucky Spencer and Isaiah Gannon had just departed. When Lucky is with Christina at Charlie's pub, may Isaiah return unexpectedly and see Sonny in distress? GH spoilers, Grandma Bear roars. In another scene, Anna Devane is enraged and delivers a stern warning. She approaches someone immediately, emphasizing that her granddaughter is not to be molested. Who may she be directing this warning at, as she discovered that Emma Scorpio Drake is being pursued by someone she dislikes? In the weekly preview, Anna felt obliged to tase Brennan. May this occurrence be related to the same confrontation? Regardless, a critical lesson is about to be learned. If a mama bear is angry, a grandmother bear can be utterly murderous. General Hospital's Top 3 Dads of 2024. Who will be General Hospital's top 3 dads in 2024? Dads on General Hospital have not always been the best, and 2024 has seen some questionable parenting. We are staring at you, Sonny. Almost killing Dex in front of your pregnant daughter was not very fatherly. Here's a look at some of the best dads in Port Charles. Second runner-up Michael may not be the greatest man in town. After all, he is a Quartermain and, like the rest of his family, is cutthroat in business. However, Michael has a soft spot for his children and the family he has formed with Willow. Michael always smiles when Wiley is around, regardless of what is going on. His son understands how cherished he is. Unfortunately, all will change because it appears that their family will be torn apart by 2025. Jason, the first runner-up, was another fantastic father in 2024. Yes, Jason. He may have gone missing for a few years to save Carly, but he has been there for his boys since he returned. Jason understood not to push Jake when he wasn't ready, but he was there for his kid whenever he needed him. He was overjoyed to assist Mom Elizabeth when she could not afford to send their son to art school. Danny greeted their father's return differently than his half-brother. He is overjoyed to have Jason back, and the two have connected. Jason likewise prioritized Danny when he agreed to move in with the Q's to be with his kid following Sam's death. And the winner is Dante, who was super dad in 2024. He has raised Rocco without his mother Lulu since she was in a coma. Dante also assisted in caring for Danny and Scout while their fathers were missing and even after they returned. He and Sam created a caring environment for all 3 children, allowing them to adore each other and feel like true siblings. Dante was heartbroken when Sam died, but his primary purpose was to prioritize the children. Like Jason, he went to the Quartermain estate to keep the kids together. Who do you believe was a great father in 2024? Let us know in the comments. Steve Burton does not want Jason with Sasha. General Hospital spoilers say that Jason Morgan is expected to be coupled with Sasha Gilmore. It appears that the writers are considering Jason as the father of Sasha's baby, which she is expecting with Michael Corinthos. Steve Burton does not want this combination and has made no secret of it. General Hospital teasers, Chad Duell has left the building. General Hospital teasers say that Chad announced his departure as Michael a few weeks ago. Currently, no one knows how Michael will be removed from the screen, only that he will leave soon. In the first episode of Steve and Bradford Anderson's daily podcast, Steve indicated that Michael needs to return next week to resolve the matter. Chad initially missed the point of Steve's comment. However, Steve said that he did not want Jason to be with Sasha, and that Michael needed to return and be with her personally. After all, a reconciliation between Michael and Willow Corinthos is beyond conception at this time. GH spoilers: your uncles with the ex-wife and ex-mistress. Jason has obviously spent a lot of time repairing things, but let's be honest, this whole situation just seems disgusting. Drew Quartermain has already slept with Michael's wife and intends to pursue a relationship with her, despite the fact that he has been shagging her other half all along. Burton simply spelled it out for Chad, who had a nice laugh. I raised you, he added, and I don't want to raise your kid. Steve's statement that Chad needed to return next week appears to imply that he has already finished filming and completed his term as Michael Corinthos. General Hospital spoilers: playing Daddy brought Jason Morgan his true love. Jason acted as Michael's father to protect him from AJ Quartermain and the other Quartermains. However, Jason was eventually forced to let Michael go. Jason then stepped up when Sam McCall became pregnant with Sonny Corinthos' daughter. Sam proved to be Jason's true love. Jason and Sam hadn't been together for years. However, Sam hasn't been dead long, and Jason isn't prepared to be someone's baby daddy. Jason must care for his son while also navigating the challenges of being a single father. Why would Jason want to be stuck with Michael's baby mama on top of everything? Will Steve get his way in this storyline? Top 8 soap opera returns for 2024. 2024 was the year that popular soap opera characters returned. 2024 was a banner year for soap opera returns. Some were predictable, while others were kept hidden to surprise admirers. Whether for a long stay or a temporary visit, many familiar people returned to their old haunts. There were several huge returns, and here are 8 of them that have the soap opera world talking. Stone Cold heats up Port Charles General Hospital's 60th anniversary special began with a surprising news that Steve Burton would return. Burton reappeared as Jason 2 years after his second leave, in March 2024. As expected, Jason survived the tunnel collapse and was unharmed. However, trouble followed him to Port Charles when his FBI connections were uncovered. Although his job with the government caused problems for his buddies, they couldn't stay angry with him. Jason is attempting to juggle his mob career with parenting now that he has moved back home. Forrester Creations employee Paris had been absent from The Bold and the Beautiful for a while. But this summer, she made an unexpected return with her new boyfriend. When Thomas returned from France, he and Paris announced their engagement. Everyone was taken aback by the news, particularly Thomas's ex-partner Hope. Although it appeared that Paris would lose Thomas to Hope, he demonstrated his commitment to his fiancée. Rick up to his old tricks. General Hospital saw a lot of returnees this year. One of the most startling was Rick's return to Port Charles. Rick returned to support his daughter Molly, who had lost her baby daughter, Irene. While Molly was relieved to see her father return home, others, notably Sonny and Alexis, were not. Rick's alliance with Ava has turned romantic, so ideally this will lead to a permanent stay. Hope bids farewell to Days of Our Lives protagonist Hope. But Hope left his bedside to attend the funeral of her father, Doug, in Salem. Hope was overcome with sorrow as she bid her goodbyes to her father. While Hope's return was brief and heartbreaking, fans should expect brighter days when she returns in 2025. Holly's shocking connection. Port Charles's favorite con artist, Holly, returned with the mother of all secrets. Holly's admission that Sasha was her and Robert's daughter surprised everyone. Fans will have to wait to find out the answers to numerous questions about Sasha's parentage. Holly's visit was cut short due to the impending danger. But she was not alone when she left. Holly and Robert achieved their happily ever after when they departed town in Casablanca style. Lucky streak. 13 years after his last appearance, Jonathan Jackson reappeared as Lucky. With his sister Lulu in need of a liver transplant, Lucky, who was being held captive by Sidwell, needed to be found quickly. Lucky was rescued and returned to Port Charles with the help of Jason and Anna. Unfortunately, he was not a suitable donor for Lulu. Although he wanted to leave town again, Lucky will stay and potentially rekindle his romance with Elizabeth. Jordan is one of the most memorable villains on The Young and the Restless. She spent most of 2024 making problems for the Newmans. Victor, however, brought an end to her reign of terror. When Jordan was imprisoned, supporters assumed they had seen her last. But she made an unexpected comeback in November, ready to cause havoc in Genoa City. However, she was not alone in her search. This year, In and Out YNR provided audiences with 2 surprising villain returns. Jordan's accomplice was Ian Ward, a former cult leader and opponent of Newman. Ian and Jordan have proven to be a thrilling villainous duo. The two had set their eyes on Sharon, whom they drugged and blamed for Heather's death. With Sharon's narrative going into the new year, fans can expect more shenanigans from Ian and Jordan. General Hospital game changer. What Sonny does next will impact everyone on the canvas. If there's one thing General Hospital fans have been taught repeatedly, it's that Sonny cannot quit the mob. Why? Because doing so would endanger everyone in his sphere. Nonetheless, it appears that the Teflon Don is going to find an emergency exit in the fast lane. In the episode that aired on Monday, December 30th, Sonny and Alexis discussed the future of their daughter, Christina. She indicated that his decision to give Christina management of Charlie's may place her on the radar of those seeking to bring him down. Rivals or even federal agents may be suspicious of the pub's use as a money laundering front. I can't ask you to leave the mob, right? Alexis inquired, somewhat jokingly, as he went. Sunny's expression was unreadable. To put it mildly, this is intriguing. Then, at the end of the show, Sunny was clutching his chest and collapsed after an apparent heart attack. Clearly, something significant is going on with Port Charles's reigning good mobster, right? Now, a TV Insider interview with head writers Chris Van Etten and Elizabeth Corta has us wondering if Sunny is planning a career shift. The scribes describe Sunny's existential crisis, which causes him to reevaluate his personal and professional lives. As a result, he makes a significant decision about his future that affects everyone on the canvas. Could the show actually be going there, or is this just another teaser? Over the years, the writers seem to be ready to elevate Sunny from coffee importer to true coffee importer. During a 2017 plotline in which it appeared like Sunny would leave up his criminal life, actor Maurice Benard told Soap Opera Digest that it wasn't feasible unless you do it like a character study and you do it for a long period of time. Interestingly, during that same interview, he may have unintentionally hinted at how the writers may have it both ways. Sunny's point is, who would you rather have running Port Charles, a nasty man or me? A worse guy or me? Could the present scenario lead to Sunny leaving the mob only to restore his power position when someone worse, such as the soon-to-return Sidwell, attempts to take over Port Charles? Best 4 daytime newcomers in 2024. These 4 have been unforgettable. It was a significant year for fresh faces on our screens throughout the daytime. Here are the top 4 soap newcomers for 2024. Peyton Meyer as Salem said a sorrowful goodbye to Doug. No one anticipated another Doug to appear so quickly. Then came Peyton Meyer as Doug 3, Doug's long-lost grandson, who is sweet on the outside but dark on the inside. Meyer does an excellent job portraying this new character. The actor fits nicely in with Day's villain-turned-good-guy formula, blending in with Salem's familiar faces. When Chase and Brooke Lynn celebrated their wedding of the year, they were surrounded by relatives and friends, including Giovanni Mazza as Gio. But it wasn't until the young musician decided to stay in Port Charles that he earned his true position, not just at the Quartermaines, but also on GH. While Joe's plot hasn't been much more than the mystery surrounding his deceased parents and his unwillingness to pursue music, now that he's met Emma and there's rumors of who his true biological mother is, it appears we'll be seeing a lot more of Mazza. Christian Weissman, who has only been on B&B for a month and a half, has dominated Forrester as Remy. While things began well for this new character, they rapidly soured when he reunited with Elektra. Weissman has perfected the Mad Stalker character as Remy's obsession with Elektra reaches a climax, with him holding her captive to keep her away from her true love, Will. Brian Gaskill, whose credits include Days, All My Children, As the World Turns, and Guiding Light, was new to Genoa City this year. Gaskill played Seth from January to March, and though his tenure on YNR was brief, his character had an impact on GC. Seth was Nikki's sponsor after her relapse earlier this year, but when he went off the wagon and ran into a disguised Jordan, he was killed by the Newman adversary. General Hospital, a turn in Sonny Corinthos' life. Sonny Corinthos, the famed Port Charles businessman and coffee importer, s life changes dramatically as his health becomes a major concern. In an episode that will reverberate throughout his close-knit neighborhood, Sonny finds himself reflecting on not just his physical well-being, but also the weight of his responsibilities and the future of his business. A sudden warning. Sonny found himself alone in his homeroom late one evening, following an emotional talk with his daughter, Christina Corinthos Davis. The conversation with Christina had been emotionally heated but rewarding, a rare moment of vulnerability between father and daughter. Sonny lingered after Christina went to bed, sipping whiskey and glancing at the family portraits on the mantel. Then, without warning, he felt a searing, piercing ache in his chest. Sonny grimaced and pushed his hand to his chest, trying to breathe despite the unexpected discomfort. His heart raced frantically, causing beads of sweat to form on his forehead. For a brief time, he considered calling for help, but pride and years of overcoming adversity muted the instinct. He stood there, anchored to the spot, his gaze drawn to the stairway where Christina had vanished seconds ago. "Not tonight," Sonny whispered under his breath, hoping the ache would disappear. After a few minutes that felt like hours, the anguish subsided, leaving an uncomfortable soreness. Sonny shrugged it off, dismissing it as stress or exhaustion, and went about his night, but the terror stayed. Shadows from the past. The next morning, Sonny was alone in his office at Pozzolo's restaurant, contemplating the consequences of what had occurred. At over 60, Sonny was no stranger to stress. Over the years, he had established himself as a man who could manage anything, from competing crime leaders to family difficulties. But something felt odd. His thoughts turned to his late father, Mike Corbin, whose own health issues had eventually claimed him. Was Sonny going along the same path? Sonny had always been aware of his health, but he had never felt totally invincible. The experience with his chest ailment made him wonder if the years of living on the edge were finally catching up to him. His seemingly opulent lifestyle was fraught with stressors, juggling his legitimate businesses, maintaining his underground empire, and negotiating the complex web of relationships with his family. Add to it the recent death of Sam McCall, a woman he had once adored, and the tensions became almost unbearable. A family in crisis. Sonny wasn't the only one dealing with the consequences of recent events. His family was in turmoil. His son, Michael Corinthos, was dealing with his own set of issues, including a troubled relationship with Willow Tate and a lack of faith in his father. Meanwhile, his stepdaughter, Jocelyn Jacks, was mourning the unexpected and strange murder of Dex Heller, a guy she had grown to care about. Even Dante Falconeri, Sonny's son and a respected Port Charles detective, appeared to be bothered by the Corinthos family's constant upheaval. The shadow of Sam's death hung over all of them. Her untimely death, followed by Dex's equally shocking demise, had instilled a sense of anxiety and fear. Both fatalities were very identical, with preliminary investigations indicating that they were caused by digitalis intoxication. Face the truth. Sonny ultimately decided to seek medical attention after experiencing yet another episode of chest pain while alone at Valentino's gym. The pain forced him to his knees, and for the first time, he was truly afraid for his life. This time, he summoned Dante, who rushed to his father's side and persuaded him to visit the hospital. Sonny underwent several tests at General Hospital. Dr. Portia Robinson, who had been a trusted family physician over the years, presented the preliminary findings. "Sonny, you have angina," Portia stated, her tone stern yet caring. "This is a warning indication. If you do not take this seriously, it may result in a heart attack. We need to make some adjustments, diet, stress management, and even medication." Sonny nodded, his look impassive but his thoughts racing. Changes? In his line of business, tension was as continuous as the oxygen he breathed. How could he slow down without jeopardizing what he had accomplished? The weight of leadership. Back at Pozzolo's, Sonny gathered his closest buddies. Jason Morgan's absence was felt greatly, but Sonny's steadfast enforcer, Brick, and longtime ally, Diane Miller, were present to provide support. "I've been told I need to slow down," Sonny said, pacing the room. "But how can I do that when all we've worked for relies on me maintaining control?" Brick leaned forwards, his expression serious. "Boss, you have created an empire. Perhaps it's time to delegate more. We have people we can trust to handle things." Diane nodded in agreement. "Sonny, your health is your most valuable possession. Without you, there would be no empire. You've taught us all well, let us share some of the load." A new perspective. As time passed, Sonny began to make tiny modifications. He gave Brick greater tasks and even entrusted Christina with additional chores at Charlie's pub. Her eagerness and commitment to make the pub a success gave Sonny a sense of accomplishment and optimism for the future. However, Sonny's tranquility was short-lived. According to reports, Cyrus Renault, a longtime rival, has resumed operations. To make matters worse, the inquiry into Dex's death found that it was not an accident, it was murder. The notion that a killer was targeting those close to him reawakened Sonny's protective instincts. "I can't let this go unanswered," Sonny told Dante over a late-night talk at the gym. "Whoever did this is sending a message, and I'm going to find out what it is." Michael Corinthos found himself standing in the dimly lighted hallway of Diane Miller's office, a weight crushing against his chest. It wasn't physical, but rather the emotional toll of his life spiraling out of control. Diane, the sharp and no-nonsense attorney, had just quizzed him on if he had any skeletons in his closet that could damage her ability to represent him in the impending custody battle. Michael had brushed her off with a vague excuse about needing to make a phone call, but the fact was that he lacked the guts to confront her probing questions, not yet, at least. Michael hurriedly pulled his phone out of his pocket and dialed Sasha Gilmore's number. The ringing seemed never-ending, with each chime serving as a reminder of their rash mistake. Finally, Sasha's voice broke through the line, tentative yet warm. "Michael? Is everything okay?" she inquired, her tone expressing astonishment and concern. "I need to talk to you," Michael continued, his voice strained. "Can we meet? It's important." Sasha pondered for a bit before agreeing. "Okay, where do you want to meet?" They settled on a secluded cafe away from the prying gaze of Port Charles residents. Michael knew that if anyone saw them together, the gossip mill would start churning, and he didn't need any more hassles. When Michael arrived at the cafe, Sasha was already seated in a quiet corner, her hands wrapped around a steaming cup of coffee. She looked up as he approached, her face a mix of wonder and anxiety. "Thanks for meeting me," Michael replied, taking the seat across from her. He ran his hand through his hair, evidently unable to find the appropriate words. "Michael, you're scaring me," Sasha replied, nervously laughing. "What is going on?" Michael took a big breath. "Diane has been pressuring me about any information that could jeopardize my case if it goes to court." He paused, looking down at the table. "I haven't told her about us." Sasha's cheeks turned pale. "What about us?" she repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. "About what happened between us," Michael explained. He couldn't complete his statement. "The night we..." Sasha nodded, acknowledging the implication. The night they turned to one another for comfort, both vulnerable and seeking solace, was a mistake they promised to keep hidden. But now, with the stakes so high, the secret hung over them like a storm cloud. "Do you believe it'll come out?" Sasha asked carefully. "I don't know," Michael confessed. "But if it happens, it may ruin everything. Willow has gone through so much already. I cannot risk losing Wiley or Amelia for something that could have been avoided." Sasha's heart fell. "Michael, I have something to tell you too," she said, her voice shaking. Michael looked up, his brow furrowed. "What is it?" Sasha instinctively reached for her stomach, and Michael's eyes widened with awareness. "Are you..." he began, his voice scarcely audible. Sasha nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "I am pregnant, Michael. And it is yours." As Michael pondered her words, the world appeared to shift on its axis. Pregnant. His child. The ramifications hit him like a tidal wave, crashing into every part of his already chaotic life. He sat back in his chair and ran a palm over his face, attempting to gather his thoughts. "Does anyone know?" he inquired finally. Sasha shakes her head. "There is no one. I haven't told anyone. I wasn't sure how to tell you. I didn't expect this, Michael." "I know you weren't either." Michael nodded slowly. "No, I wasn't. But we're in this now, and we'll sort things out. Together." Sasha's gaze scanned his face for signs of resentment or fury, but all she found was determination. Michael's dedication to his family was solid, and she was confident he would not forsake her or their child. However, the issue was far from straightforward. "How about Willow?" Sasha questioned hesitantly. "You are still married to her, and she is going through so much during her rehabilitation. I don't want to make it worse for her." Michael's expression clouded. "I'm not sure how she will take it. But I can't keep this from her indefinitely. She deserves the truth even if it hurts." Willow Corinthos sat in the nursery of Quartermain Mansion, watching Amelia sleep. Her rehabilitation had been slow and difficult, but she was determined to regain strength for her children. Michael had been a steady source of comfort, but she had seen a growing gap between them, as if he was carrying a weight he couldn't share. When Michael returned home later that evening, his face was furrowed with anxiety. Willow looked up from the couch where she was reading and realized something was wrong. Michael, what is it? She inquired, putting her book aside. Michael hesitated, his heart beating against his chest. He knew he needed to tell her, but the words were like lead in his throat. Willow, there's something I need to tell you, he began, taking a seat beside her. And it's not going to be easy to hear. Willow's expression clenched with worry. Michael, you scare me. Just tell me. Michael grasped her hands in his, bracing himself for the consequences. Sasha is pregnant. And the baby is mine. The room grew silent, and the weight of his confession hung in the air. Willow's eyes welled up with tears, and she pulled her hands away, throwing her arms around herself like a barrier against the pain. I don't know what to say, she said, her voice breaking. Michael reached for her, but she retreated. Willow, I am so sorry. It was a mistake, and I regret having hurt you. But I'm going to accept responsibility for this child, just like I have with Wiley and Amelia. Willow shook her head, tears falling down her cheeks. I need time to comprehend this, Michael. I can't do it right now. As Michael's world crumbled, Sasha struggled with her own concerns about what this revelation meant for her future and her child. Meanwhile, Diane Miller, the ever-vigilant attorney, prepared for the custody struggle ahead, completely unaware of the bombshells that had yet to be revealed. The intricate web of secrets and emotions threatened to swallow everyone involved, and the consequences would leave no one unharmed. But for now, Michael, Sasha, and Willow could only brace themselves for the impending storm, hoping without hope that they could weather it together. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.